doa bersadi insyaAllah. Okay, so anything that you would like to highlight before we begin our discussion this morning regarding our previous class? Anything that you like to highlight about Wednesday class regarding our average velocity, instantaneous velocity? Anything, brothers? So analysis model, so we are using particle condition or particle theory, but we are represent the condition under what we call constant velocity. We have many model in physics. We have particle model, we have actually what we call system model, we have what we call rigid object model, and as well with model. So but in our syllabus now, for your physics 1, basically we are more on what we call particle model. So this is the model that we are going to use for the. Alright, so when we discuss about the condition that we call under a constant velocity, means that this is already been done by you on your previous SPN, which mean that our condition of instantaneous velocity will be equal or will be the same with the average velocity. So graph yang you buat sebelum ni, yang straight line tu lah, as I mentioned previous, we have this kind of graph. Okay, so when this condition take place, means that our instantaneous equation will be equal with the average equation. So this is instantaneous, this one is average. So at the same point, you're going to have your average, and as well at the same point, we can have the instantaneous velocity. Okay, so basically on your previous SPM physics, we already done this one. So as we would like to calculate our velocity here, okay. Okay. Alright. You can. Okay, sorry. Okay. Are my audio clear, sisters and brother?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Suddenly I see that my video dia tak bergerak. It's okay, tak apalah. Okay. And then as I mentioned that our instantaneous and as well average will be equal. So straightly you can use either these two equations to represent the velocity here, which is what we call constant velocity. So we go back to the definition of our velocity, change of displacement over time interval. So I take this equation, and then as you can see, and from this equation, I can simplify this equation respect to the subject that I would like to have, which is position. Final position is equal to initial position plus with your velocity constant times delta t. Okay. And then we know that previous in our discussion, our delta t here, anyone would like to help me? What is mean by this? Orang kata apa delta t. What is mean by change of time here, brothers and sister? Apa equation untuk calculate delta t? Anyone would like to help me this morning?
Final minus initial.
Very good. Final time minus initial time. So this is our definition or our equation to calculate the change of time. And as basically in our condition or in our common practice, initial time will be respect to 0. Because as I mentioned in previous, usually initial time ni is with respect to condition initial, which is on the beginning will be starting from 0. Okay, so from this definition means that straightly my delta t will be equal to t final. Are you agree with me, brothers and sisters? Agree with me with this condition? Any objection?
Ada. No, yeah.
Alright, so it means that when we have this condition as -0 tadilah, okay? So straightly I can use my equation here as final, which is final position equal to initial position plus Vx, which is your constant velocity times T. T here is T final. So kalau siapa yang nak letak boleh letak T final or straightly just letak T because it refer to this final position. So this is what we call. Actually, you already done this one in your previous SPM. Kita just go kata apa, little bit further sikit je dia punya kejap media nak terus tengok kenapa lah. It's okay for me sebenarnya, tak ada masalah kalau video ni dia kamera ni tak berfungsi, tak tahulah. Minggu ni dia agak masalah sikit. Okay. Alright, next we go to the so as we have a condition of graph, okay, so means that the constant velocity condition are be represented by this linear line slope ni. So means that in your previous SPM you already done this kind of slope ataupun this kind of graph. So means that every point on this graph it will share the same value of velocity. So apa tadi velocity yang Madam bagi tahu, dia share what types of velocity that we have previously, sisters and brother? They share same types of velocity. For constant velocity, they share. So apa velocity yang kita ada belum ni? Cepat. Instantaneous. Good. And another one?
Average.
So both are having the same value. So kalau maksudnya kalau Imelda ambil kat sini, so kat sini lah instantaneous, dekat sini lah average. So means that and as well as for another point. So basically they share the same value. Okay. And then next we go to the okay. So we do one example here so that we can see how the conditions of the what we call constant velocity take place. Macam mana kita nak interpret this statement ataupun this situation is constant velocity or not. Okay. So I have a kinesiology. So one of the what we call study of field study about motion is studying the biomechanics of the human body. So kinesiology is the study of movement of the human body. Notice that the connections to the word kinematics. Okay. So she determines the velocity of an experimental subject while he runs along a straight line at a constant rate. The kinesiologist start the stopwatch at the moment of the runner pass a given point and stop if after the runner has passed another point of 20 meters away. Okay. The time interval indicates on the stopwatch is 4 seconds. Okay, so how we going to interpret that this condition or this situation is fall under the what we call constant velocity. Apa dia punya keyword, brothers? Sister, apa dia punya keyword? Kat sini kat mana yang kita nak kata dia adalah constant velocity and we can use our knowledge that instantaneous velocity dengan average is the same. So you boleh pakai equation
Rate.
Yes, very good. Constant rate. Yes, this one. So kadang-kadang dalam soalan you kena cari this keyword to represent your constant velocity. If not, dia bukan group constant velocity, so kita tak boleh pakai condition instantaneous sama dengan average. Okay, very good, brother. Okay, so straightly, as we would like to calculate what is the runner velocity, so means that we can use this equation. Yang ini maksudnya dia boleh maksudnya represent instant and as well our average. Okay. Alright, so straightly we use the definition or equation delta x divided by delta t. So as you can see, we take the definition back from our change of displacement. Okay, x final minus x initial. So you need to recognize which one is initial position and which one is final position. Okay, so dalam soalan ni memang dia tak bagi tahu berapa nilai dia, tapi kita kena interpret. So basically, starting point at given point, so we assume it was 0, and then after 20 meter it will be the final. Okay, so this is how we interpret. And then change of time. So dalam soalan tu, as initial is 0. So after later time 4. So you can strictly use delta t is 4 second. So you will get that what we call the velocity is 5 meter per second. Okay, clear tak yang ini, brothers?
Clear, madam.
Clear.
Nampak simple tapi because
Clear,
kita
madam.
kena interpret system dia. Yes, us. Okay, again and again, please make sure photos will just join. Make sure submit me your your attendance in I-attend within our class session. Jangan outside, bahaya nanti saya nak madam nak kena tu pula nanti. Okay, B, if the runner continues his motion after the stopwatch is stopped, what is his position after 10 seconds have passed? Okay, now he continue his kata running, so we would like to know after 10 seconds where his final position after that. Okay, so tadi dekat 4 seconds, sekarang after 10 seconds. So we use the equation of this final position again, but now we respect the that you already have its constant velocity. But then still respect to initial position yang dia buat is 0. Okay, because this constant velocity is start from 0 as well. Okay, so we times with the letter time, which is 10 seconds. Okay, so 10 seconds. So it will give us the value is 50 meter, not 50 meter per second, 50 meter. So after 10 seconds later, he will be at 50 meter. Respect to the origin or respect to the initial. Kalau tak, kalau kita start daripada 20 tadi, dia mungkin 30 je lah. Okay. Okay, so this is the conditions that we refer to constant velocity. Okay. Alright. So in physics or in our textbook, we are not only mention ataupun not only illustrate the condition by using pictoria, which is picture, tabular, which is table, and as well graph, and as well equation. We also can illustrate the motion by using arrow representative. So as you can see in my slide here and as well in your textbook, page, kejap, mana tak di page dia berapa tadi? Page 30, okay, you can see that there will be a picture of arrow. So we can represent the condition of what we call constant velocity by this length of arrow. Okay, in your textbook as well. So as you can see, again and again, this arrow needs to be noted some of one of the quantity. So macam velocity, so dia kena letaklah symbol velocity. Kalau tak nanti media pun tak boleh nak bagi tahu this is what vector. But now we know it's group vector lah. Okay, so as you can see, this red arrow, which is having the same dimension, which is same length from this point sampai sini. Kalau tak percaya, you ambil pembaris, ukur yang dalam buku teks. Dalam slide medium tak boleh lah kan, nanti tiba-tiba dia bergerak. Nanti so you ukur. Sepatutnya they have the same length because it share the same value of velocity, constant velocity. So mean from this point initial sampai final kat sini, length dia sama. And as well as you can see the particle space or particle distance, particle position between each other have the same length. So this is one of the what we call condition for constant velocity. Okay, so jangan terkejut nanti bila kita pakai arrow representative in our discussion of motion, because it also represent motion, and as well length to represent magnitude. Okay. And if let's say we are using constant speed, constant speed, so means that even though the path is not straight line, but still we respect it as a straight line because cuma di curvy lah. Okay, and as you can see, the red arrow here also represent our speed. Okay, so you have the same length, so means that all this point of this particle have the same speed. Okay, so to calculate the speed, as we know that total distance travel divided by the total time interval. So it was the same in our previous discussion. Okay. Okay, so we do one example here to calculate the particle under constant speed. So previously we already done on under constant velocity. Okay. So imagine a particle moving at a constant speed of 5 meters per second in a circle with a radius 10 meter. So as we know, the equation for calculate speed is V equal to a distance total distance travel divided by the time interval. Okay, but in this equation, dia dah bagi nilai constant speed and then time interval. So we need to calculate the total time interval, total distance. So circle, kalau betul circle. So as we have circle shape with this radius 10 meter. So what is the path yang kita boleh calculate? What maksudnya path dia tu kita panggil apa kalau circle, brothers, sister?
Circumference.
Circumference, very good. So means that your total distance is actually occurs dekat circumference. So means that you need to use the equation of 2 pi r lah for circumference. Okay? Pernah jumpa equation circumference ni, brothers?
Pernah.
Nah.
Jadi tak nak nanti tiba-tiba terkejut kenapa dia pakai 2 pi r. So this is actually your circumference. Okay, very good. And then as we already have the velocity, the speed, so we can calculate what is the time interval to complete this what we call circumference, which is leads to us 12.6 seconds with this respect of its speed here. Okay, and then alright, so when we have a previous constant speed or constant velocity, but now what will happen if let's say we have the change of velocity? When we have the change of velocity or the rate change of velocity, it leads us to the next phenomena that we call acceleration. Okay, so again, first we go through the what we call average acceleration. Means that we can calculate it by using the average velocity divided by the change time. The change of average velocity respect to the time interval. So you can calculate it by using this equation lah. Okay. And again, the dimensions for the acceleration previous is L over T square. Okay. And then the unit is meter per second square. And as well, it have positive, negative value. So don't be surprised because we also have, this is also what we call vector quantity. But a little bit orang kata apa for the discussion later about what is your negative value for A. Positif ni tak ada masalah. Positif ni orang kata boleh jadi maksudnya dia lebih normal. Okay. Okay, before we go to the value itself, next we also have what we call instantaneous acceleration. So average velocity, average acceleration, instantaneous velocity, instantaneous acceleration. So again, this occurs at a particular time. So you can also refer to this equation. We can calculate it by using this limit function as we respect to a particular time here. Or you can use first derivative of velocity, dvx over dt. Or you can also use the second derivative of position. Nampak tak? Second derivative of position, which is respect to our position on the time interval. So you can choose either 1, 2, 3 lah. Respect to the value or the things that you have in your question. Dalam soalan. Okay. Kita tengok next. Okay, so how we can represent your acceleration, average acceleration, and as well instantaneous acceleration. So to calculate the value by using graph, you can use the graph of velocity versus time. Be careful because to get acceleration, you need to come from the graph of velocity versus time, not position versus time. Tak dapat. Memang sampai kiamat tak dapat kalau kita pakai graph tu. Okay. So from this graph of velocity versus time, again and again, the slope will represent the value of your average and as well instantaneous. Okay. So for curvy graph, for curvy graph, you going to have two kinds of gradient. Kalau yang graph line, linear line macam ni lagi mudah. Yang ni yang madam cakap yang SPM. So yang ni sebenarnya dua-dua dekat tempat yang sama. Tapi sekarang because you have curvy graph, graph yang melengkung macam ni. So again the blue line will represent our average acceleration. Because they will have two time, maksudnya they have a range of time interval. Initial dengan final. Okay. And as well for the green line here, we represent our instantaneous acceleration. So dia sama dengan konsep velocity yang sebelum ni. Okay, cuma graf sahaja berbeza. Jadi kena berhati-hatilah. Kalau nak kira dia, make sure that you use your graph of velocity, bukan graph of position. Memang tak jumpa untuk acceleration. Okay, so again, just to kata recall back your condition of graph. So we start with the displacement time graph, or sometimes I call it position versus position time graph. Okay, you start with this one. Yang ini dulu. So as you can see, this is curvy graph. So the gradient will give us different value, and then this gradient will lead to what we call our velocity. Okay, so from this graph of position, kita dapat gradient dia tukar kepada graph of velocity. So kita tengok dia punya nilai tu sama, time sama, tapi dia punya slope dah berbeza. Okay. And then from this graph of velocity versus time, the slope of this graph will give us the value of the acceleration. So biasanya value of acceleration ni dia tak ada gradient lagi dah. Jangan tiba-tiba awak buat ada gradient. Memang dia tak ada gradient. So means that our value on certain time of the acceleration respect to time dia akan become more constant. Okay, value dia. Jadi dia respect kepada gradient dia yang satu tu je. Okay, alright. Alright, okay, so as I mentioned, in acceleration, we have also positive and negative value. Okay, so basically, positive value means that the object and acceleration are in the same position. So and as well, you have the same position, the object also we can say it was speeding up. Okay, because kita tahu, bila A, equation dia V final minus V initial over time interval lah biasanya. So when our V final is bigger than V initial, means that the object is speeding up. Okay, are you agree with me, brother, sister?
Yes.
Okay, condition ni sama. Okay, and then as we have the condition, another one is negative A, which is usually the object is moving in opposite direction. So mean that A dengan V dia bertentangan. So means that bila bertentangan, dia condition dia is actually slowing down. Ataupun another word that we call deceleration or what we call acceleration. Nyah pecutan. Nyah pecutan. Pernah dengar nyah pecutan?
Pernah, madam.
Yang ini maksudnya V final dia lebih kecil daripada V initial. So means that they will slowing down. Okay. Another condition as well for your yang ini, yang madam cakap yang ini ni, okay. Yang ini juga adalah untuk arah yang maksudnya negatif juga. Maksudnya arah dia A negatif, V pun negatif. Kita ada condition yang mana objek tu bergerak ke kiri dan dia accelerate. So you kena be careful when you dealing with negative A ni juga. Sebab negative A ni ada untuk condition dia bergerak to the left. Both moving to the left. So dia maksudnya dia sama dengan condition macam ni. Cuma dia negatif A dan juga negatif V. So yang ni kena be careful when you have the question, jangan jump to the conclusion dia de-accelerate. No, you kena tengok the whole story. Asalnya dia bergerak ke mana? Kalau dia bergerak ke kiri and then A dia negatif, maksudnya dia accelerating juga. Cuma arah dia ke kiri. Okay, clear tak, brother sister? Sebab negatif A ni dia tricky sikit. Because kadang-kadang orang ingat dia hanya nyah pecutan. No, dia boleh juga ke arah negatif dengan syarat V dia pun negatif juga. Okay, kita tengok nanti satu lagi. Kita tengok dia punya discussion later. Yes, brother.
Kalau deceleration kan, maksudnya graf dia menurun lah.
Kalau dia punya deceleration, graf dia
Menurun
graf dia menurun untuk gradient dia. Yes. Maksudnya kalau dekat gambar ni tadi, kawasan ni lah. Nampak tak?
Nampak?
So maksudnya bila you tengok dekat sini, my A here is below than zero, negative value. So you kena berhati-hati dekat mana. Tetapi ini graf yang kita pakai ni respect to positive direction. Maksudnya dia semua respect kepada towards the right lah ataupun upward. Tapi kita juga ada graf Madam boleh pakai graf yang sama juga ni kalau untuk yang negative direction. Maksudnya semua dalam negative direction. Yang tu kita pun ada. Cuma untuk our discussion idea biasanya kita respect towards the right. So maksudnya semua arah positif. Okay, clear tak brother?
Madam,
Yes.
towards negative position, dia terbalik graf dia.
Graf terbalik, yes, betul. Kalau dia towards negative direction, dia akan terbalik. Maksudnya you akan dapat acceleration yang opposite tu will be orang kata positif lah. Dia akan terbalik, yes, betul. Cuma kita tak buat yang itu, jarang kita buat. Biasanya kita respect kepada arah positif sahaja. Tapi as I mentioned, needs to be careful when you dealing with negative A, which is your acceleration. Tengok the whole cerita. Kena baca dari awal sampai akhir. Dia sebenarnya cerita dia macam mana. Kalau tak nanti takut kita tersilap interpret dan dia sebenarnya bergerak ke kiri semua. Jadi dia adalah accelerating juga. Okay? Clear brother?
Okay, thank you Madam.
Alright. Okay. And again, when we discuss about acceleration, orang kata tak kisahlah de-accelerate ke accelerating. And respect to what we call constant mass, because previous we already discussed that even though we use particle, tapi particle tetap ada mass. So when we have mass, so maksudnya dia lebih, maksudnya constant mass lah, constant mass. So we can have another phenomena regarding this acceleration take place on a mass object, which is what we call force. Okay, pernah dengar force sebelum ni? So equation kita biasa yang paling famous ialah F equal to ma. So maksudnya bila A ni fix, when you have the object mass ni orang kata accelerating or deaccelerating, dia will contribute to this another phenomena, which is what we call force. So just orang kata to give you introduction about the changing of our motion will give us a new phenomena, which is force. Okay. So yang ni kita akan bincang later in your next topic chapter 4 lah. 4 betul. 4 dan 5. Okay, so tadi Madam dah bagi tahu. So we use the word for slowing down is another word is deaccelerating. So kalau dalam soalan tu memang dia use the word deaccelerating atau deacceleration means that kita boleh jadikan respect to the positive direction, so means that A dia negative. Okay, kita tengok nanti dia punya orang kata motion diagram. Nanti you will look on. Alright, so before we go to that, we want to do one example to to strengthen our knowledge about this instantaneous and as well average acceleration. So sama je, cuma kita further sikit je. Okay, again, so look on this 2.6 example. So we would like to calculate average and instantaneous acceleration. Okay, so the question, the instruction, the velocity of a particle moving along the x-axis according to the expression of Vx equal to 40 minus 5t square. Where Vx is in the meters per second and as well t is in the second. Okay, so another one, they also give us the slope. The graph. So you can use either the equation ataupun graph. Kalau dia bagi dua-dua, you can use either. Kalau tak, you kena use one. You kena ikut soalan dia lah. Kena ikut dia punya condition yang dia bagi. Okay. So A, find the average acceleration in the time interval between t0 to t2 second. So kalau you tengok, kalau dalam dia buat solution ni dulu, this is the way how we calculate the average velocity at A, which is dekat 0. Ni kat 0. And then 2 second, kebetulan dekat B. So kita boleh masuk lah. So kita pakai equation tadi. So dia bagi equation, so kita cuba guna equation. So kita dapat dekat VA will be 40 meter per second positively. Okay. And then VB is also positive 20 meter per second. Ataupun kalau kita tengok dekat graf ni itself, it was A is 40 meter per second positive and B also is 20 meter per second. Are you agree with me, brothers, sister? So selain daripada guna equation, you also can check in terms of your graph. Graph yang dia bagilah. Kalau tak, jangan buat graph sendiri. Nanti bimbang salah. Kalau graph dia bagi, dengan equation dia bagi, you can recheck each other. Okay. And then as we would like to calculate the average. So yang ini dia pakai formula. So which is straightly you use the formula of our acceleration, average acceleration. So final dekat B, initial dekat A. So you get negative 10 meter per second. Okay, kalau kita tengok dekat graph, tengok dekat line yang mana? Blue ke green, brother? Line yang mana? Anyone?
Blue.
Blue. The blue line here. Dalam gambar ni lah Kalau gambar lain dia mungkin warna lain. Okay, so dalam ni from this point A to point B, this blue line represent our average acceleration. So kalau cuba you calculate balik, betul tak? So yang ini coordinate dia is 220, yang ini is 04. So sama juga sebenarnya kat sini cara kita calculate untuk gradient. So you also get this one is negative 10 meter per second. Square, sorry. Okay. Kalau tak percaya cuba kira balik pakai calculator. Okay, next. Determine the acceleration at t equal to 2 second. So what is this kind of acceleration? Apa maksud acceleration yang dia nak ni, brothers, sister? Dia nak apa ni?
Instantaneous.
Instantaneous, because they only give us one value of time. Okay. So, dekat solution yang dia bagi, dia propose here, this is using what we call limit function. So you have to go back to your limit function, buat balik revision. So sebelum ni untuk average velocity kita tak buat, kita pakai gradient. Hari ni kita pakai limit function. So how to get this limit function? It start from your equation yang ini. Okay. Daripada equation yang dia bagi tadi, mula-mula dia bagi form 40 minus 5t square. So kita tahu dia nak t equal to 2 seconds. So maksudnya dia nak t plus delta t. So change of time kan daripada kosong ke delta t. So kita masuk dalam equation yang ini. So as you expand this equation, you will get this equation. And then simplify this equation respect to delta V, which is equal to Vx final minus V initial. Yang ini ialah your equation daripada yang atas. So kita dapat yang ini. So dapat equation yang part pendek ni pula. So dia ada eliminate yang inilah part ni. Because of our condition yang ni. Okay, and then as you can see, you simplify this equation respect to limit function. Yang ini you kena buka balik revision planner, tak nak buat yang ni detail lah because this is actually from your max. So as you can see, when you calculate by using this limit function, we get your what we call kita punya apa ni gradient ataupun instantaneous velocity is negative 20 meter per second. Yang ini dia punya calculation. So yang ni is more accurate sebenarnya. Lagi accurate lah, tapi you need to have your practice of limit function. Kalau tak memang tak dapat jawapan ni. Okay, cara yang seterusnya cara yang seterusnya ialah kita guna dekat graph. Okay, kita nak cari instantaneous line yang mana, brothers? Biru ke hijau?
Hijau.
Okay, so kita pakai warna hijau. Sebelum kita nak pakai warna hijau ni, apa yang kita kena buat ialah we need to find t equal to 2 seconds. So kalau kita tengok dekat graph ni, this is t equal to 2 second kan. Lepas tu okay. And then kemudian kita cari intercept dia dekat orang kata apa, dekat curve, dekat kita punya graph of velocity ni. So kat sinilah kebetulan senang sikit. Okay. So daripada sini kita buat line of this green line. Dia bukan terus muncul green line ni sebenarnya dia adalah daripada t equal to 2 second. Alright. So daripada t equal to 2 second ni, so you can have your line of gradient yang green ni. Okay, so this line gradient, you can use your knowledge of the gradient. So kita ambil lah mana-mana point kat sini along this green line, 2 point to represent our gradient. So kalau kita tengok secara tak langsung kita dah tahu juga line green gradient ni give us what value of your slope, brothers, sister. Dia akan bagi nilai apa secara tak langsung. Kita bukan maksud nilai, bentuk apa yang nilai lah. Positif ke negatif?
Negatif.
Negatif. Jadi you kena dapat nilai dia negatif sepatutnya. Kalau tak tiba-tiba dapat nilai positif, masalah lah tu. Okay. So this is another way that you can calculate. Okay, yang ini I would like you to do by your own. Cuba cari dekat your table tu anggaran berapa, and then cuba cari roughly berapa dapat gradient dia. Mungkin dalam, there will be plus minus from this value lah, maybe plus minus 0.5. Mungkin ada yang dapat 19.8, 19.5, ataupun ada yang dapat 20.5, 20.2. So it can be. Tapi the accurate one, this one. Okay, kalau yang ini hanya bila kita dapat equation. Kalau kita tak dapat equation, kita tak boleh buat pakai limit function. You have to use by the what we call the gradient here. Okay. Okay, clear so far about this example, brother? 2.6. Okay.
Clear,
Alright.
madam.
Okay, madam.
Good. Alright. So we go to the next subtopic here, which is as I mentioned, in our textbook, we not only use our mathematical expression or mathematical expression, we also can use our arrow representative of our motion. Okay. Kenapa? Because dalam next chapter kita akan ada vector. Kita dah buat vector, lepas tu baru nak masuk group vector, tak apalah. Okay, so dia use arrow. So in this motion diagram, we represent the motion of your car in terms of arrow. Okay, so we look one by one. So first case, this car moves at the constant velocity, which is zero acceleration. Zero acceleration. So we know that constant velocity, you have the initial and final velocity the same, so your acceleration is zero. So as you can see, we don't have any notation of arrow for your A. We only have for your V. Jangan pula tiba-tiba pergi lukis. No, dia memang tak ada because A kita is zero. So tak perlulah lukis arrow sebab arrow tu dia represent magnitude, dia represent value. So kita tak ada value of A, so tak adalah arrow. Okay, and as well as you can see, the image of the car are equally spaced. So from one point to another point have the same value of displacement ataupun same value of length. Okay. Next, this car have a constant acceleration in the direction of its velocity. Okay. So as you can see, I have two color of arrow. One is red, represent velocity, and then A is another one is purple for your acceleration. So as you can see, the arrow for your acceleration is have the same length. Jangan tengok space dia, jangan tengok space. Space dia tak melambangkan acceleration. Arrow length tu represent the magnitude of your acceleration. So dia kata constant acceleration. Okay, boleh nampak tak? Clear tak? A tu sama arrow dia length dia. Can you see that?
Nampak.
Okay, this is how you represent your arrow. So kalau you nak lukis, make sure, kalau betul you nak buat balik nota ke apa, make sure that acceleration arrow A tu same length. It's much more better. This is the practice of physics sebenarnya. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, and then when we go to the velocity, sebenarnya patutnya velocity dulu baru arrow, sebenarnya baru acceleration is okay. So bila kita ada acceleration, and then means that our velocity is actually changing. So as you can see here, this is initial, this is final. So what we can say about the velocity for this car, brothers, sister? Apa maksud, apa yang kita boleh interpret for the condition of velocity on this car, on this case?
Velocity increase.
Very good. Velocity increase. Yes, as you can see, yes, very good. The shape ataupun the length of this arrow is actually keep going to increasing atau keep going to become more longer. So this is one of the way that we can represent our magnitude of velocity. Very good. Okay, and then both are having the same direction. Nampak tak same direction arrow dia? So arah yang sama juga, gambar yang sama, madam boleh buat mirror image so that all can become negative direction. Maksudnya semua, kalau you boleh imagine, dia akan terbalik ke sebelah kiri. So sama juga. Kita boleh ada same condition for negative A, which is dia accelerating juga. So maksudnya arah dia semua terbalik lah. Arrow-arrow ni semua terbalik. Maksudnya yang sebelah sini akan duduk kat sini lah. So dia akan keep going to increasing velocity but in opposite direction. So sama juga. Accelerating. Okay, this one. Last case. This car have a constant acceleration in the constant acceleration in the direction of opposite its velocity. Okay, so kalau as you look, the car is moving towards the right, but then it goes to what we call decreasing. So decreasing, yang ni, so kita akan dapat negative A. Negative A compared to this direction of your velocity. So sama juga kalau madam terbalikkan dia, tak sama. Kita akan dapat condition decelerate. Okay. So ini ialah untuk decelerating. Okay. So I believe in your previous SPM, you also have done what we call ticker timer atau pita detik. Pernah buat dulu?
Pernah.
So benda yang sama, cuma kita just recall back. So this is a question in your chapter 2, tutorial 1 chapter 2 tutorial 1 chapter 2 regarding strobo photograph. Sebenarnya dia pakai stroboscope tapi you dulu pakai ticker timer. Okay, so dia give us this kind of picture. This is real picture sebenarnya from strobo photograph regarding ticker timer tu. Okay, so kita buat A saja because B, C you can do by your own later. Cuma nak tengok sebenarnya dia nak macam mana. Okay, so kalau kita tengok dekat ini, dia suruh maksudnya lebih kurang dia suruh interpret in terms of graph. Okay, kita buat A. So you look on the picture A, so what we can deduce or what we can conclude about this what we call motion. Apa kind of motion ni sebenarnya? Anyone nak share with me? Anyone nak cuba? Yang A ni dulu, A ni. So what types of motion yang dia buat ni sebenarnya? Anyone?
Berhenti.
Tak dengar, kuat sikit apa?
Yang A tu nak berhenti. Dia
A
tengah
tu
gerak
nak
masa dia
berhenti. Okay, A tu nak berhenti. Apa maksudnya dia nak berhenti ni?
Decreasing.
Decreasing of velocity ataupun decelerating. Okay, good. Alright, boleh. Okay, lagi? Apa lagi kita boleh cakap pasal this picture A ni? Maksudnya this motion is decelerating ataupun dia decrease velocity. Very good. Okay, lagi?
A negative.
A become negative. Okay, yes. Because dia nak, orang kata apa, dia nak decelerate. Okay, lagi? Motion tu dia sebenarnya tak semestinya hanya perkataan velocity dengan accelerating. What about the position? Ataupun what about the displacement? Displacement dia. Increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Increasing. Increasing. Macam mana boleh increasing ni? Okay, kalau kita tengok ke gambar ke sini, positif lah. So dia increasing ke decreasing ni kalau arah dia macam ni? Kalau increasing ke belah sana, tapi dia berlawan dengan decelerating ni. Decreasing kan?
Decreasing.
So dia adalah decreasing kan untuk gambar. Biasanya kita akan ambil condition dia ke kiri, dari sini bergerak ke sini. Biasanya kita tak ambil terbalik. Jarang kita ambil terbalik sebab nanti terbalik dia banyak pula explanation. Okay. Alright, so from this picture, from this orang kata apa strobo photograph, we can come up with the graph. Okay, so graph dia adalah bentuk macam ni. So dia start kat sini dulu. So madam start kat sini dulu because jarang kita start acceleration ke bawah. Biasa kita start position ke atas, ke acceleration. Okay, so as you can see, even though this is position versus time. Position versus time means that as you can see the position dia increase. Maksudnya value dia tetap naik. Cuma displacement dia makin kecil. Okay. Faham tak? Maksudnya yang ini 1 meter. Kata ini kosong. Ini 1 cm. Ini 2 cm katalah. Yang ni mungkin 2.5 cm. Ini mungkin 2.7 cm. Ini mungkin 2.75. As you can see, position dia increase. But then displacement dia makin lama makin kecil. Are you clear about that, sisters, brother?
Yes.
Kenapa dia pakai? Okay, sebab tu kalau you tengok graph position versus time masih increase. Masih increase. Tapi as you can see, dia become more what we call plateau. Dia dah nak makin plateau. Dia dah bukan lagi sharp macam ni. No, dia tak lagi increasing macam ni. Dia lebih kepada plateau lah ni. Dia dah start nak kata apa, mendatar. Okay. And then velocity. So as we can see that when we have the decreasing of displacement, and then means that our velocity will going to decrease as well. So that's why as you can see the gradient here is downward or negative. So bila negatif maksudnya dia akan start to deaccelerating. So that's why di condition kat sini kita tengok nilai dia deaccelerating, bukan negatif lah. Okay, because A dia negatif. Okay, clear so far about how you going to interpret the condition of this probo photograph letter. Tak payah letak nilai, cuma kena tengok balik dia adalah condition apa. So kita ambil again, this is beginning, this is final. And then arah dia positif. So untuk yang lain pun sama macam tu clear? Sebab nanti bimbang ada yang mungkin ada yang lain pakai yang lain, jadi madam kita tengok balik how you interpret the first condition dia dari mana ke mana. Okay, so again, as you can see, as I mentioned, the violet or the purple arrow represent our velocity. Our acceleration. And our value of acceleration is constant. Dia cuma ada satu value. Tapi for time interval dia. And then next time interval dia mungkin berubah. Tapi kita tak kata dia ada change of ni drastically lah. Dia tak berubah macam drastically. Okay. Alright, so in your previous SPM, we already have come up with this equation. So cuma kita tukar simbol sahaja. Kita tak ada tukar apa-apa kecuali simbol. Okay, bila simbol ni maksudnya kalau sebelum ni you pakai apa kat sini, V equal to U plus AT. Betul tak? Ke ada yang tak pakai macam ni atau yang pakai macam ni terus? Sebelum ni SPM rasanya pakai macam ni. So kita hanya tukar simbol sahaja. Yang lain kita masih lagi kekal dia punya sequence. Okay. And again, this all under what we call constant acceleration. Cuma ada satu value sahaja dalam certain time. Okay. And then also this one, V initial plus V final divide by 2. I believe we already have this also. Okay. So orang kata apa, just recall back sahaja. Dan juga introduce you to the new symbol. Boleh pakai yang SPM tak ada masalah. Cuma orang kata jangan pakai yang agak berlainan lah. Ataupun you buat interpretation. Maksudnya dekat bawah tu apa benda supaya madam tahu oh okay ini apa sebenarnya. Tapi biasanya rasa SPM dia sama je. Ataupun ada yang belajar A-level ke? Ada O-level. Ada yang belajar O-level. Kan ada yang belajar O-level madam terlupa. O-level mungkin dia sama juga cuma kadang simbol dia sahaja berbeza. Okay, so yes, so as you can see, I can represent again my motion in terms of this arrow representative. And again, bila arrow, make sure that dia ada simbol tertentu yang dia represent. Kalau tak nanti tak boleh nak baca, bukan tak boleh nak baca, kita boleh buat operation tapi kita tak tahu dia ni sebenarnya apa. Velocity ke, acceleration ke, ataupun dia ni position ke. Jadi kena letak satu notation supaya boleh indicate what types of vector that you are actually discussing. Okay, kita buat one example regarding this kata apa dia punya condition of acceleration and constant acceleration. Okay. Tengok 2.7 example 2.7 carrier landing. Okay, so I have a jet lands on an aircraft carrier at the speed of 140 miles per hour. So it already give us the conversion 63 meter per second. Roughly around approximately. So kalau you betul-betul convert dia mungkin 63 point something atau 62 point something. Macam itulah. Okay, what is the acceleration as we assume constant? If it stops in the 2 seconds due to an arresting cable that snaps the jet and bring it to a stop. Okay. So kita kena baca soalan ni dan juga statement daripada atas untuk kita interpret what is the condition or what is the parameter refer to what. Okay, so kita nak calculate acceleration. From our previous equation, we have this equation for your acceleration. Ini tambah tambah tak tolak sorry dia tebal. Okay, so V final, V initial. So daripada statement dengan soalan, yang mana satu V final, V initial, sister and brother? You kena assume, you kena interpret. Salah interpret, salah condition dia. Okay, kalau kita baca, what is the final stage for the jet? Dia nak buat apa? Final stage dia, final apa tu?
Dia nak stop
Stop. Bila dia nak stop maksudnya final velocity dia
0.
0. Very good. So you kena tahulah. And then initial dia with respect it was on the way moving. Dia masih lagi moving. So kita ambil dia 63. Kalau tidak nanti terbalik ni dapat nilai positif. Nilai positif maksudnya dia accelerating balik. Mana boleh atas landasan accelerating pensan nanti. Sebab dia nak stop kan. So 0 initial final. Initial is 63. So you will get and as well the time interval is 2 seconds for it to stop. Okay, so you will get roughly negative 32 meter per second square. Negatif so logik lah dia nak de-accelerate. Tadi dia nak stop kan, jadi dia kena de-accelerate. Dia tak boleh accelerating lah, tak logik. Okay, yang ni kena baca soalan dan juga statement. Jangan baca statement saja atau jangan baca soalan saja. Memang tak boleh, kita tak akan dapat apa yang dia nak sebenarnya. Okay. B. If the jet touched down at the position X initial equal to 0, what is its final position? So kita tahu kapal terbang jet bila dia touch down maksudnya bila dia nak landing dia kena touch down lah. So kita assume when it touch the ground or the kata apa kita assume it was equal to 0. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So kita nak calculate final. Jadi kita pakai equation ni. So again and again I would like to remind you as orang kata early, make sure bila kita nak buat solution, think wisely. Choose the solution wisely. Jangan terus pakai, maksudnya just ambil mana-mana equation masuk. Memang dibimbangi. So ada unknown dalam equation tu yang kita tak ada. Jadi kita cari equation yang suit with the information yang kita ada. Okay? Alright. So tadi kita dah tahu initial yang mana, final yang mana untuk velocity. So straightly masuk je nilai dia, dapat 63 meter. So from the touchdown tu sampai the stop is 63 meter. Roughly lah sebab dia pakai conversion 63 tadi. Okay. And suppose the jet lands on the deck of the aircraft carrier with a speed of faster than 63 meter per second. But has the same acceleration. Dia speed dia lagi besar, lagi banyak, lagi tinggi tapi same acceleration due to the cable as the calculated in part A. How will it change the answer in part B? So kita nak calculate what will be the condition, final position yang dibuat. So kalau kita tengok dekat equation ni, so maksudnya kalau kawasan ni lagi besar and then in this one kita tahu dia memang fixed, yang ini akan increase lah. So means that the final position for the jet to land ataupun to stop is become more larger ataupun large, maksudnya further. So that's why kalau photos yang orang kata plan to become civil engineer ke yang buat landasan kereta api, landasan kereta api, landasan kapal terbang ke apa, this is the thing that you sometimes you need to count your masuk kad mana kena ambil kira. Kalau tiba-tiba kapal terbang tu terlaju apa jadi, so kena count lah. Okay. So I will stop here for a while, 5 minutes break. We coming back with the next subtopic. So yang ini example ni Medan nak you buat by your own because this is famous example ni. Speed track ni. Dalam SPM pun banyak suka tanya. Okay. We coming back with the next subtopic 2. Berapa ni? 2.8. 2.8. Okay, so before that any further discussion before we take 5? Sister, brothers?
No.
No, madam.
Alright, okay. If don't have question, we have 5 minutes break.
Baru tadi.
Baru tadi je.
2.7 madam.
2.7.
Yeah, this one.
Ni memang dia punya formula dia, madam.
Yang mana ni? Yang ni example ke?
Yang ni, example 2.7.
Okay, formula dia. Formula dia. Formula ni yang daripada page berapa tadi? Page 38. Daripada 2. Berapa tadi? Ni daripada page 38 equation 2.13 sampai lah page 39 equation 2.17. That's why I mention. Sebenarnya you dah buat. Kita cuma tukar simbol je. Medan tukar simbol sahaja. Jadi dia ni je lah. Jadi again and again kita ada banyak equation. So that's why I mention you need to, orang kata apa, choose wisely yang mana equation leads to the attention of the question, and as well the most important, orang kata yang suit dengan information yang ada. Sebab kita ada juga equation yang ada benda ni banyak ni sebenarnya. Ada 2-3 equation. Jadi be careful. Kena pilih yang orang kata suit dengan information yang kita ada. Clear tak, brother?
Okay.
Okay, good. Yang lain? Question? Any more further discussion about this example? Yang 2.8 ni I leave it to you because dia sebenarnya sama je konsep dia in SPM dulu. Cuma mungkin dia punya orang kata apa, kita kata apa tu, method dia tu je lah. In terms of mathematical tu dia pilih yang pakai benda alah ni. Dia pakai apa tu, formula. Daripada dia pakai kuadratik dia pakai formula. Ikutlah. Dia sebenarnya dalam fizik for me tak ada masalah. You can choose mana-mana operation matematik yang suit with the information. Okay. Cuma jangan yang pakai yang pelik-pelik lah kan. Nanti madam pun tak pernah jumpa. Kena study balik betul ke tak. Itu je sebenarnya. Okay, so straightly we go to the next topic here, which is in your textbook 2.8. So before that, can you?
Okay, today to test out my new.
Can you hear the sound from the video?
Yes, madam.
We can, madam.
Motion camera I got. I'm going to be dropping a feather and a chunk of metal and see if they hit the ground at the same time under a vacuum. So the key to this experiment is dropping them at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the feather to the top of the vacuum chamber with a magnet. So this experiment proves that gravity pulls on everything with the same acceleration. And the reason is because the force that gravity pulls down on you is proportional to the amount of mass in the object. So the more mass an object has, the harder gravity pulls on it, but the more mass it has, the harder it is to move. So what that amounts to is everything is pulled down at the same acceleration due to gravity. But what makes it a little bit messy is that in air, there's also air resistance when things fall, and so you can't really see how everything falls at the same rate. But if you remove that air, then you should be able to see that effect. Okay, first we'll do in-air test. So this is dropping a feather in air. Okay, we're under full vacuum now, so let's do our test under vacuum and see if it looks any different. Okay, I want to do it in normal speed so you can appreciate how fast the feather actually falls. So here's feather in a vacuum, normal speed. 3, 2, 1. Looks like it almost gets pushed down. It's weird to see it fall like that. Hey everyone, thanks for watching another episode. If you like this video but you haven't yet subscribed, remember to hit that subscribe button so you can be right on the ball, see the next video right when it comes out.
Okay, alright. So, tadi dah dengar kan dalam video kan? Dah tengok kan? Can you hear the sound from the video?
Yes.
Alright, okay, good. And I also attach it in your Telegram letter if you would like to rewatch back how the process. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we call free fall. Free fall. It's okay. So the person who contributes to this condition of free fall is this person, Galileo Galilei. Okay, so he invented these formulas of motion for object in free fall. So maybe some of you have kata some reading. So dia famous dengan eksperimen apa ni? Ada yang mungkin baca ke? Ada nak share dengan madam? Dia famous dengan eksperimen apa? Tahu tak dia famous dengan eksperimen apa?
Teleskop.
Teleskop, yes. Teleskop, yes. Tapi yang free fall ni. Pernah dengar tak free fall ni? So kalau siapa yang mungkin pernah baca pasal Tower of Pisa, so dia ialah antara orang yang buat eksperimen kat Tower of Pisa ni. So basically lah, so he dropped one of the object in on the top of this Tower of Pisa and observe the condition. Okay. So in our subtopic of 2.8, we will discuss the condition that we call freely falling object. It means that the object that moving freely under the influence of gravity alone. Gravity. So means that we are going to orang kata apa, indicate the condition of our gravitational acceleration. Pernah dengar pecutan graviti?
Pernah.
Okay, so alright, good. So in our discussion, we're going to indicate three case, which is drop, second thrown downward, third is thrown upward. So this is the condition yang you have to be very, very careful later when you be given the question. So you kena interpret which case. Soalan tu dekat case yang mana? Because different case, they have different characteristic. Okay, cara dia berbeza. Okay, but before we go to that cases, we go first in terms of our acceleration of freely falling object. So tadi, in our video, as you can see, there will be two different condition for the object to fall that we call vacuum. Without air tu ialah vacuum, and then with air tu which is on normal condition, misalnya dalam keadaan yang biasa sekarang. Okay, so in our discussion, we will only orang kata apa, focus on the condition that we call vacuum ataupun without air. So in our case, apa-apa saja yang kita bincang, cases kita semuanya orang kata apa, ignore air resistant or ignore air drag. So kita hanya respect to either case which is vacuum. Okay. So when we discuss about free fall, first we would like to introduce to you the magnitude. The magnitude dulu bukan dia punya sign ke apa. Kita bagi tahu magnitude dulu. For your acceleration, gravity acceleration is now 9.80 meter per second square. No more 10. Okay, please make sure when you do calculation is 9.80. Kalau buat 10 tu dibimbangi akan salah. Bila salah jangan marah madam sebab madam dah bagi tahu 9.8. Dulu SPM pakai 10. Ke ada yang dah pakai 9.8 masih SPM? Ada dah yang pakai 9.8?
Tak ada.
Okay, so sekarang kita pakai 9.8. Dulu 10. Okay. And this value of 9.8 is actually decrease with the increasing of altitude. Pernah dengar perkataan altitude? Basically it orang kata apa, refer to height. So means that when you move away more vertically upward ataupun makin tinggi height dia, the value of your 9.8 will be decreasing. So means that if you go upper and upper, then the value will be decreased. 9.7 dan so on lah. Okay, mungkin lagi drastic lagi 9.6 ke. Okay, and as well G also varies with latitude. Tadi altitude ni latitude. So latitude means that in terms of our coordinate on earth, there will be also slightly different. But then still with respect to all our discussion is 9.8. But real life no, dia tetap ada perubahan. Okay, alright. So kalau kita tengok, I just give you this is I take from the physics textbook. Your junior lah, your junior this year. Okay, alright. So as you can see in this, kata apa, as I mentioned tadi, latitude dan juga altitude. So yang ni latitude latitude. So at the Arctic or at the Antarctica, your value is approximately 9.83. And for us dekat Khatulistiwa is 9.78 meter per second square. So dia agak berbeza, okay, because of the latitude. Okay. So but then again, as I mentioned, we still take 9.8. Jadi kita tak ada masalah lah. Okay, and as I mentioned, our discussion later will be respect to that we neglect air resistance. So kita akan buat condition kita dalam vacuum. So semua dalam vacuum. Even though dia bagi tahu dalam soalan dia duduk dekat pokok ke apa ke, tapi kita respect kepada neglect air resistance. So bila neglect air resistance, you nampak tak tadi dalam video tadi, metal and the feather fall in the same, orang kata rate, on the same condition. Nampak tak? Ke ada tak nampak tadi? Ke ada tu? Nanti boleh recall, boleh rewatch balik the video. As you can see, in the vacuum, both feather and as well metal drop in the same time. Clear tak? Jumpa tak tadi? Nak tengok tak tadi? Nampak tak tadi dalam video? Okay. Alright. Okay, thank you. So when we do free fall, we are actually again and again under what we call motion in constant accelerate. Maksudnya constant acceleration in one dimension. So in our condition for free fall is vertical. Vertical is menegak. Pernah dengar menegak vertical. So kita akan buat condition upward or downward. So tadi dalam previous yang kapal terbang lah, yang jet tadi lah, yang runner tadi, semua dalam horizontal, which is mendatar. So sekarang kita buat keadaan dalam keadaan menegak, vertical. Okay. So still we are going to use our particle model, and this is again under constant acceleration. So value dia is 9.8. Berapa value, brothers and sisters? Berapa value kita? 9.8. Madam memang suruh sebut sebab supaya you tengok 9.8 dan bila you sebut telinga dengar dia boleh record 9.8. Okay, good. Alright, so again when we discuss about the direction, upward is positive. Dan satu-satunya benda dalam dunia ni yang dalam group vector is negative is this gravity. Gravity is always downward. So bila dia downward means that your G is negative. Negative 9.8. So dalam soalan, dalam equation, you kena letak dia punya value is 9.8 meter per second square. So contoh, equation tadi yang kita ada dalam kinematik, you boleh guna untuk vertical juga. Contoh tadi S, kalau you ada sama UT plus A T square. Okay, pernah jumpa equation ni? Clear about this equation? So madam boleh tukar dia punya notation sebab kita biasa pakai horizontal. So kita boleh letak Y, yang ni Y, yang ni pun Y. So bila maksudnya ini untuk semuanya dalam keadaan vertical. So dekat sini you nampak AY ni kita gantikan dia dengan negative G. Ataupun negative 9.8 meter per second square. So value dia. So bila you masuk dalam tu, you kena letak negative. Okay, clear tak sister, brothers? Nanti kita akan buat case, kita akan tengok macam mana you masukkan dia. Okay.
Madam, I have a question.
Yes, alright, yes.
Why do we put Y in SUA tu?
Because kita nak respect to the vertical direction, which is kalau vertical biasanya axis you ialah Y.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Sebelum ni dalam equation kita sebelum ni semua pakai X. Maksudnya dia pakai VX, UX because kita respect kepada horizontal which is X axis. To the left, to the right semuanya X axis. But then now bila madam letak Y ataupun letter nanti you tengok ada AY means that dia adalah vertical. Tak letak pun tak ada masalah sebenarnya. You boleh pakai equation yang sama. Walaupun you letak macam ni, walaupun kita pakai S equal to UT plus half AT square. Tapi kena tahulah yang ini kalau you nak guna untuk vertical pun boleh. Tak ada masalah. Cuma semuanya komponen tu dalam vertical. Biasa kita untuk your chapter 2 ni kita akan split. Kalau you dapat soalan horizontal, semuanya dalam horizontal. Jarang tiba-tiba dia jump daripada tebing ke tak nak. Tapi kalau you dapat soalan vertical, semuanya benda tu adalah untuk vertical. Maksudnya keadaan ni dalam free fall. So kita ada dua. So dalam one dimension ni kita ada dua case. Satu horizontal, satu lagi vertical. Okay, clear tak brother? Yang lain pun clear tak?
Clear, madam. Thank you.
Equation masih sama tapi kita cuma buat notation sahaja y supaya you tahu oh ini untuk maksudnya okey sekarang ni dalam bidang vertikal. Jadi kita spesifik sikit lah, kita bagi you clear view oh ini vertikal. Okay, for the first case we call it object drop. Okay, contoh object drop dalam dunia ni or in the real world banyak fenomena, nature fenomena. One thing yang paling senang ialah falling leaf, daun gugur. So in the beginning kita tahu daun tu dia attach to the orang kata apa to the branch ataupun to the mana-mana tempat dekat pokok tu lah. Okay, and dengan sampai satu masa izin Allah dia gugur. So that kind we call it drop. Gugur tu dalam bahasa Melayu kita panggil dia drop. Sebelum ni tengah our season is orang kata musim durian. Durian tu biasanya orang tunggu dia jatuh. Tu another one kita panggil dia drop. Maksudnya in the beginning objek tu is at rest. Tak kisahlah dia kita pegang ke, dia dilekatkan ke ataupun apa lagi dia means that on the beginning dia static, dia stationary. Okay, clear tak brother sister? Dan dia juga kena ada certain height lah, dia tak boleh orang kata atas ground je, dia ada certain height. Yes, very good. Macam tu. So dalam soalan you kena recognize this is drop or another case. Okay, kenapa kita kena recognize dia drop? Kita kena recognize dia punya case. Untuk drop ni first, it was initially dia is 0. So kat sini madam pakai VIY which is V initial for Y component, maksudnya vertical lah sebab dia dalam keadaan vertical, dia arah dia bawah dengan atas. So dia ke bawah. Okay. So V initial dia equal to 0. So anything yang orang kata V initial equal to 0 ni kita go to this group drop. So maksudnya you kena cari perkataan stationary ke, static ke, at rest, lagi apa lagi. So maksudnya initial dia equal to 0. So dia jatuh, as you can imagine macam falling leaf tu dia akan jatuh dan dia akan under influence of this gravitational acceleration 9.8 meter per second and the direction is downward. G dia negatif. Negatif ni G kalau you dah masukkan jadi negatif 9.8 lah. Okay, bukan negatifnya jangan. Negatif. Tadi dia dah beritahu G magnitude dia 9.8 because dia ada arah, so kita masukkan negatif. Okay, so this is the condition for drop. Okay. Any further discussion about drop? Sebab kena be very very careful. Kalau salah ni salah group, salah salah interpret dapat kes lain. Dapat kes lain jawapan dia lain lah. Okay. Next, we go to the next case, second case that we call object thrown downward. This is the condition where you can imagine that you orang kata apa, throw a rock into the pond. Okay, you throw a rock into the pond. Biasa tengok tak, kita baling dia terus ke bawah. Condition dia daripada tangan you terus masuk ke dalam, maksudnya rock tu akan bergerak terus masuk ke dalam pond ataupun dalam kolam. Okay, so means that you as we are actually thrown it, so means that kita bagi kita kena supply tenaga, kita kena supply force kepada rock tu. So means that the initial velocity is not equal to 0 and it straightly have the direction downward, negative. So maksudnya negative Vy initial. Dia punya initial velocity dia is negative. And as well gravity acceleration also negative. Okay, clear tak yang ni? Kalau tak percaya cuba ambil satu, you cuba buat macam sekarang, ambil pemadam ke, cuba baling kat lantai. Dia macam tu konsep dia. Pemadam you baling terus ke lantai, so means that the negative direction of velocity is downward. Negative direction dia, maksudnya darah dia ke bawah, so dia become negative. So initial dia. Okay, clear tak brother? Sister?
Madam,
Yes.
kenapa dia tulis initial velocity tak sama dengan kosong?
Memang tak sama dengan kosong because kita bagi daya. Yeah,
Okay.
yang ini you have to give certain force. Bila you bagi certain force means that dia bukan drop kan, dia bukan macam kalau maksudnya kalau okey jap Kalau maksudnya kalau you punya macam drop tu dia initial dia condition dia kosong. Sebab dia static. Yang ini you kena hayun dia, macam bukan hayun, you kena macam kalau tangan kita nak lempar satu benda, tangan kita kena gerak kan. Gerakan tangan kita tu dah bagi initial speed kepada that object. So maksudnya you dah bagi satu macam ni, macam ada hayun ni. Okay, this rubber already have its initial velocity. Similar with my hand velocity. Clear tak brother?
So maksudnya dalam kes ni kita baling benda tu.
Ya, kita baling. Throw tu baling. Baling tu maksudnya you have to give certain force. Kena assist dia dengan force. Clear tak? Tapi arah dia terus ke bawah. Dia terus ke bawah. Dia maksudnya dari tangan you, objek tu terus turun ke bawah. Cuba buat. Kalau lepas ni ambil pemadam, pegang tangan, lepas tu baling terus. Dia punya arah tu terus ke bawah. Itu secara naturally pun memang dibuktikan dia terus ke bawah. Clear tak? Brother, sister yang lain, clear tak?
Clear madam. Terima kasih madam.
Okay. Cuma gambar madam ni je lah. Madam tak boleh dah buat dia bergerak hayun. Dia akan, maksudnya kita tolak. Kita bagi force. Jadi dia kena ada initial velocity. Dia dapat daripada kita punya force. Itu untuk thrown downward. Nama dia thrown downward. Baling ke bawah. Okay. And then kita ada satu lagi case which is yang kita panggil thrown upward. Yang ini ialah case di mana kalau you kalau you tengok video madam ataupun ni, maksudnya kita punya ni kita baling ke atas dulu. So rubber ni macam kalau madam pegang rubber ni, so dia akan naik ke atas dulu. So condition dia initial velocity is positive upward. Dekat sini you boleh tulis, maksudnya kat sini dia bergerak ke atas dahulu. First, dia bergerak ke atas dulu. Okay, and then sampai satu masa dia akan momentarily at rest. Pausan ni kita panggil dia momentarily at rest. Ini memang biasanya cikgu awak dah buat dulu kat SPM. Apa saja yang you baling ke atas, dia akan patah balik ke bawah. Dia akan hit balik kita. Sebab tu dalam Malay proverb ada satu proverb Malay yang panggil ludah ke langit, jatuh balik ke muka. Pernah dengar tak? Pernah dengar? Kalau siapa yang pernah dengar. So kalau you cuba buat, kalau you ludah ke langit, ludah tu ada satu masa lagi dia akan jatuh balik ke muka kita. Itu dia punya proverb lah. Okay. Tapi kalau ikut dia punya mekanism, you throw it upward first, dia bergerak ke atas positively. Nampak tak? Medium punya tanda kat sini positif sebab dia bergerak ke atas. And then ada certain height that we call maximum height dia from this point point ni, dia akan momentarily at rest. Okay, yang ini you kena recognize daripada soalan. Ada tak condition dia momentarily at rest? Ataupun you kena interpret by yourself dekat mana dia buat. Biasanya dekat maximum height from it being thrown upward. Okay. Sampai sini dia stop for a moment, dia akan stop. Dia akan momentary at rest. Dia macam floating tapi tak lama, dalam split second saja. And then dia start to move downward. Yang ini tampaknya median case. Upward first. Okay. Sampai sini. Dan dia juga dekat sini kita kata momentarily at rest. Maksudnya dekat sini velocity dia kosong. This is one thing yang you have to interpret by yourself sometimes. Memang kena interpret. Dan bila dia momentarily at rest, the second part ni, second phase dia, second stage dia ni, dia akan macam jadi drop. Dia akan buat sama macam drop. So dekat sini dia akan start from zero, dia akan turun ke bawah. So while it was upward, dia juga under influence G dia negatif. This is actually the nature phenomena. G dia sentiasa kat bawah walaupun dia naik ke atas. Sebab tu dia, kalau you ingat tadi, bila V dengan G tak sama arah, dia akan ada condition apa, brothers and sister? Bila V dengan G tak sama arah, apa jadi dengan motion object tu? Anyone would like to give suggestion? Decrease of what?
Velocity.
Velocity. Maksudnya dari high velocity kat bawah ni biasanya dia high velocity, the highest. Dia naik, dia makin slow sampai sini dia akan momentarily at rest, which is V equal to 0. Dan this is logic because G is actually opposite dengan V. Dan bila dia sampai sini, dia momentarily at rest again, dia fall down. V dia akan start negatif. V kat sini maksudnya Dan dia under influence of G also downward. So maksudnya dia makin laju. Dan kawasan ni kemungkinan dia akan ada nilai V yang sama dengan initial tadi tapi negatif. You boleh cari kat sini sebenarnya kalau dia sama level, kita bagi tahu siap-siap kat sini nilai sama dengan yang ini. Tapi negatif because dia move downward. Okay, nanti kita buat example so that you can see macam mana sebenarnya thrown upward ni. Dan dia sebenarnya case yang complete daripada drop sampai your thrown. You boleh buat sebenarnya. Dia adalah orang kata dah high level lah. High level because they consist all the cases. Okay, kita buat example so that you can see the condition of this thrown upward. Okay, sebelum tu untuk thrown upward, when tadi madam bagi tahu bila dia sama level kat sini, dia ada satu condition yang kita panggil symmetrical untuk thrown upward ni. Symmetrical ni hanyalah bila dia sama level. Bila dia level yang kita baling and then level yang dia turun tu sama balik dengan level yang kita baling. Maksudnya. So dia akan ada kita panggil dia vertical, symmetrical. Maksudnya apa symmetrical ni? Whatever times that it go upward, it will have the same value of the time for downward. Maksudnya naik berapa second, turun pun sama second dia. Contoh naik 2 second, turun pun 2 second. Dengan syarat level yang kita kira tu level yang sama. Jangan pula tiba-tiba ke bawah lagi, tak boleh lah. Level ke bawah lagi dia akan banyak masa lah. So this is the condition. And another one is, dekat sini, tadi measure label dia adalah positif. Katalah kat sini dia positif 8 meter. Dia naik, contoh. Sampai kat sini level ni dia turun, dia pun adalah 8 meter per second. Ini sebenarnya kadang-kadang you kena interpret by yourself. Memang dia takkan, jarang dia bagi. You kena bagi tahu sendiri, you kena guna sendiri. Okay, nanti kita buat. Okay, clear tak sisters, brother?
Clear, madam.
Nanti kita. Okay, satu lagi, make sure that dekat sini you tahu dia adalah maximum height. Nanti kita kira macam mana nak kira maximum height. Which is, dia momentarily at rest. Itu dia punya keyword dia. Okay? Dan satu lagi kita juga ada case non-symmetrical. Non-symmetrical macam mana? Kawasan ni. Nampak tak? Dia lebih daripada initial position yang kita baling dia ke atas. Yang ni kita panggil non-symmetrical. Yang atas ni symmetrical. So dia boleh ada juga soalan yang mana dia combine. So kita akan ada. Maksudnya bila dia kata tadi media baling dia 8 meter tadi kat sini. So dekat sini negatif 8. Beyond this value, the value will going to increase. Maksudnya kat sini 9, 10, negatif negatif. Yang kat sini mungkin 12. So maksudnya nilai dia makin banyak. V dia makin tinggi. Tapi negatif. Because dia downward. Okay, kita buat sekejap dia. Okay, so yang ini just concept. You can read by your own. Dan dia ada explanation dia sebenarnya. Okay, kita buat this one. 2.10. So, everyone who have textbook, you may refer to your textbook dan you boleh tulis apa saja dekat situ supaya you boleh, orang kata apa, letter boleh buat revision balik. Okay. Not a bad throw for a Rocky. Okay, so I have this example. A stone thrown from the top of a building, okay, is given an initial velocity, okay, 20 meter per second, straight upward. Okay, so kita tahu initial dia ialah throw upward dulu. Okay, the stone is launched 50 meter above the ground and the stone just misses the edge of the roof on of its way down as shows in the figure. Okay, so kalau tengok dalam figure ni, this person throw the rock upward and he was stand on the building which is 50 meter from the ground. Daripada kedudukan tangan dia tu sampai ground is 50 meter. Nampak tak garisan tu? Bukan kat kaki dia, bukan kat kaki dia. Daripada tangan dia, tempat kita position of the ball being thrown, stone to thrown outward. Okay. So dekat sini kalau you tengok dekat ni dia pointkan A. So kat A ni kita tengok dia ada T equal to 0. Of course because dia start initial. Okay. Y equal to 0. Kenapa kat sini kita buat Y? Sebab kita refer kepada position. So as I mentioned in our early beginning class of this chapter 2, in physics kita kena start our reference point dekat mana kita nak buat. So kalau dekat dalam gambar ni dia buat reference point A tu is Y equal to 0. Maksudnya apa? Bawah daripada A ni semua condition ialah negatif. Maksudnya untuk Y, untuk position, Clear tak brothers, sister?
Clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So V initial, VYA, so dia pakai VYA is 20 meter per second. Kalau madam terus letak positif. Sebab tu reminder for me is I usually put positive, I know it was upward. So you can letak positif kat sini. Okay. And then G, nampak tak G dia? AY ni is negative. So this is one good practice sebenarnya for you to remind yourself G dia always negative even though dia move upward. Okay. So tadi kita tengok, so as this person throw this rock upward, so it will move. Nampak tak arrow ni represent it was moving upward. Okay, so at the point B here, this is what we call maximum height. Maximum height. Mungkin ada yang nak tulis, mungkin. So this is maximum height for this ball, for this what we call rock to be thrown upward. Dan kalau you tengok kat sini, dia dah bagi masa. Yang ni masa nanti kita buat. Sekejap lagi kita kira masa dia. Okay. Yang paling penting dia nak highlight yang ini. Momentarily at rest. So kat sini maximum height mesti V dia equal to 0. Mesti kena kosong. Kalau you buat ada nilai memang bukan lagi maximum height. And again, dia punya orang kata apa tu gravity is 9.8. Okay. And then dia turun downward, dia turun dan dia mula start drop. Dia macam drop. Dia akan jadi case drop sebenarnya. So bila dia drop, dia akan orang kata apa start downward lah, moving downward. Okay. So as you can see at point C here, okay, where this point C is the same level of point A. Okay, what we can see in here is the velocity at this point C is same magnitude with A but negative. Nampak tak? Siapa yang ada buku teks ataupun siapa yang tengok kat slide ni dia nampak tak? Dia negatif 20. Yang ini positif 20. Sama magnitude but opposite direction. Clear brother, sister?
Clear.
Okay, ini adalah benda yang you memang kena ingat. Kalau tak dia akan maksudnya interpret by yourself. Okay. Alright, sebelum tu Medan nak tunjuk kat sini time dia. Okay. So kalau you tengok kat sini TC 4.08 second. Maksudnya dia kira daripada sini. Dia kira daripada A. Tadi kita tengok balik A naik ke B, dia ambil masa 2.04 second. Ini nanti kita calculate balik. Tapi cuma Medan tunjuk dia punya mekanisme. A ke B 2.048. As this one, until C ni dia adalah symmetrical. So ni case ialah symmetrical Symmetrical. Okay. Symmetrical. So maksudnya berapa dia naik? 2.40. Turun sampai C 2.40. Sebab tu dia jadi 4.08. Are you agree with that brothers and sister? So ni dia dah kira time dia daripada A sampai C. Jadi 4.08. Okay. Nanti kita kira juga balik. Cuma dia nak tunjuk dia dah actually this example dia dah awal-awal dia dah tolong you, dia tolong jawabkan berapa. Okay. As you can go beyond than this value C, bottom lagi turun ke bawah. Okay, sebelum tu. Make sure that again G 9.8, negative 9.8. Okay. Dan nampak tak YC? YC is 0. Sama dengan YA, kosong. Okay. Alright. Turun lagi ke bawah sampai point D. Medan tak buat lah dekat tengah-tengah ni, kita tahu. Okay, tapi kita tengok dekat sini. Dia punya height dia is negative 22.5 meter. Below than this A. Below yang ini. So daripada sini 22.5 ke bawah okay. Dan kalau you tengok dia punya velocity is negative 29 meter per second. Increasing daripada yang ni 20. Jangan tengok negatif tu je. Negatif tu arah dia. So dia dah makin meningkat 29. Okay, and then go lagi. Dan of course, dia punya acceleration still 9.8. Nampak? Dia constant. Dan turun lagi sampai E. E ni yang dekat ground. Which is, kalau you tengok, negative 50 meter. Bukan kosong Negative 50 meter from A ataupun from C. This one. And then as you can see, the height as this stone reach the ground Dia bukan lagi stop dia baru sampai kat permukaan ground tu. Dia on the way, dia masih lagi, maksudnya dia touch tu, dia masih lagi ada speed. Dia masih lagi ada velocity. Jangan kata dia stop no. Unless dia mention dia stop, baru kita boleh cakap dia kosong. Okay, so you tengok kat sini, berapa nilai dia? Negative 37.1 meter per second. Increase from 29, increase from 20. So this is actually, the more dia pergi bawah, dia makin tinggi velocity dia. This is how we check our answer. Kalau you calculate dekat this level, sepatutnya dia lagi tinggi daripada sebelum ni. Tiba-tiba kira dapat rendah. Something wrong tu. Mungkin ada something yang tersalah kira. Okay. So tadi madam nak tengok yang ini dengan yang ini. Make sure that this is, yang ini kita ambil daripada A atau point C. Bukan daripada bawah ground ni. Okay. Clear tak brothers, sister? Nampak tak perbezaan dia? This is how we do our condition of throw upward. Thrown upward, nama thrown upward tapi tetap turun ke bawah. Okay. So kita tengok soalan dia dan kita compare dengan jawapan yang dia bagilah. Okay. A. Using t equal to 1 second, t equal to 0 second. Okay. As the time the stone leaves the thrown's hand at position A, determine the time at which the stone reach its maximum height. This is the keyword yang you have to find if it asks about time. Dia kena maximum height. Sebab timeline kita tak boleh nak kira sebenarnya. Kita payah nak dapat jawapan dia. Sebab dia kena maximum height, ada certain features yang kita dah boleh keluarkan dia. Okay. So from our kinematic equation, nampak tak? Ni equation yang daripada sebelum ni. Cuma sekarang ni madam tukar dia F. Ni F ada Y. Y. Okay. Jadi sebelum ni kita ada Vx, 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 Ax. Sekarang Vy, Vy, Vai. Tapi tak ada masalah. You nak pakai yang ini pun boleh. Tak ada masalah sebenarnya. X initial tambah Ax initial. Boleh. Tetapi kadang-kadang takut ini. Nak cari mana pula ni dalam horizontal. Sedangkan sebenarnya equation sama. Dia convertible ni. Tapi kita tahu Ay ni dia memang fix. Negative 9.8. Jangan pula nanti sampai nak pakai equation ni tapi tiba-tiba mana nak cari A. Memang tak ada. Tapi kita tahu A dia ialah negative 9.8. Okay. So dia nak tahu times. So kita straightly dia propose this equation because we have lots of information that suit in this equation. Contoh. V final. Final ni dekat mana untuk this statement? Kita nak ambil V final dekat mana brother, sister? Untuk this question A. Compare dengan gambar ni. Dekat, so maksudnya maximum height dia, kita tahu walaupun dia tak label B sekalipun, kita tahu velocity dia ialah kosong. So final tu ialah dekat maximum height. Yang ini ialah V maximum height. Okay. Boleh ikut? Boleh follow lagi? Ayo dia. V final untuk soalan A dulu soalan A. Which is V final dia dekat maximum height, we know it was 0. Yang itu memang you kena tahu, you kena buat sendiri. Dia takkan bagi tahu, madam pun tak boleh tolong dalam exam. You kena orang kata revise balik. Okay. V initial dekat mana? V initial ialah dekat masa kita thrown dia, masa T equal to 0. So dekat TA lah. So TA dia ialah positif. Dekat situ mungkin ada yang tanya, madam tak letak positif boleh ke? Boleh, tak ada masalah. Because kita tahu dia adalah upward, dia positif. So you tak nak letak simbol positif pun tak ada masalah. Tapi kena data jangan pening pula. Kenapa tak ada positif? Kita kata upward. Memanglah. Okay. So find initial dekat VYA. Okay. So AY kita gantikan dengan negatif G ataupun G saja. You nak letak G saja pun boleh. Tapi dalam calculation kena letak negatif G. Jangan pula macam ni maksudnya bila nak masuk ni lah tiba-tiba ada satu lagi negatif. Jangan, bukan. Dia bukan. Dia adalah negatif 9.8 je. Sebab tu kadang-kadang madam tak berapa suka pakai negatif ni. Terus pakai G saja. Okay. So kat sini sebenarnya tak perlu letak negatif pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Okay. So, kosong dekat maximum height which is at B. Initial dekat A, 20. And then G negative 9.8. Sebab tu kalau you tengok, logik tak? Ini negatif, bagi negatif dapat positif masa. Masa tak pernah negatif. Jangan tiba-tiba bila you calculate, kenapa dapat negatif masa? Masa tak pernah negatif. Jadi dia mesti positif. So negative 20 divide by negative 8.9. 8.9, right? 9.8. 9.8 you get roughly 2.04. So kita pakai 2 decimal places atau 3 significant figures. So dapat 2.04. Okay, sampai sini. Clear tak brothers, sister?
Clear.
Dia nampak macam simple je. Calculate simplenya calculation dia. Tapi kita kena ada understanding about what mean by maximum height. So mean that it was momentarily at rest. So V dia equal to 0. Tak kisahlah you nak level VAB ke VYF ke, tak kisah. Tapi kena tahu dekat maximum height is the final stage je. Okay, this is for question A. So we have another 3 to 5 more minutes before we end our class. Okay. Find the maximum height of the stone above its initial position. So, initial position kat sini, kita respect kepada soalan dia. Dia bagi tahu dekat A. Kita ambil kat A. So, A ialah kosong. Okay. So, kita tengok. So, V maximum sama juga dengan Y maximum. Y maximum sama juga dengan YB atau height position dekat B. Okay. And then sama juga dengan tadi kita tahu kan dalam kalau equation horizontal X initial plus V X initial T plus half A X T square. So kita gantikan semua ni dengan Y component. So yang ni Y component untuk initial dekat A. V initial untuk A and as well your G lah AX dengan AY. So benda yang sama. Okay, so kita tengok dia punya value yang sepatutnya kita kena masuk. So tadi V initial dekat A is positif. Time yang kita perlu daripada A to maximum height which is your B is 2.04 second. And then gravity negative 9.8. And then again T square 2.04 square. So you get it will be 20.4 meter. So yang ini sebenarnya jawapan ini sebenarnya dia punya height daripada A yang dalam gambar tu ditunjuk. Sebab tu Madam tunjuk gambar tu sebenarnya nak tengok dia punya nilai dia sebenarnya. Okay, so as we can see on the picture itself, yes, we get the height from A to B is 20.4 meter positif. Positif dia sebab nilai dia memang positif lah sebab dia naik ke atas. Okay. Okay, are you follow me? Are you clear? Masih lagi ni boleh follow? Boleh follow? Brothers?
Boleh.
Ada soalan tak yang ni? Ada apa-apa further discussion tak? So initial position tu dekat A. At A. Okay, at A. Bukan dekat soalan A, dekat point A tu yang bulat tu. Okay, next. Mana pula tadi? Dia tak gerak. Kenapa dia gerak ke sini? Oh, okay, betul. C. Determine the velocity of the stone when it returns to the height from which it was thrown. So, dia mention so kalau kita baca soalan ni, dia nak velocity. Tapi kita ada indication dia sampai height yang dia dilontar. So, maksudnya dia nak balik semula dekat A. Tapi kita tak label lah A. Kita label dia C. Okay. So, kalau tadi Madam bagi tahu konsep dia, bila dia sama level, velocity dia sama magnitude. Maksudnya kalau daripada gambar ni, you can straightly answer negative 20 meter per second. Tetapi kita nak calculate juga. Kita nak try prove betul tak dia negative 20 meter per second. Okay. So what you can do is we choose any of the kinematic equation that suit with our information. So kita pilih yang ini. So Madam pilih yang ini. So kita tengok. Kita compare VC dengan VA. So kita tengok VA square plus 2AY YC minus YA. Yang ni you punya sesaran sebenarnya yang sebelum ni. So kalau kita tengok kat situ, kalau you tengok kat sini, yang ini, okay, so yang ini positif ini positif square. Yang ini negatif. Yang ini kosong. Kenapa kosong, brother, sister? Kenapa Madam letak kosong-kosong? Kenapa? Siapa nak jawab tadi? Cepat.
Same position.
Same position. YA kosong. YC mesti kosong juga. Jadi good. Yes, same position. So, kosong. Jadi yang ini jadi kosong. So, tinggallah sini 200 kuasa 200 pula dah. 20 kuasa 2. So, dapat 400. Lepas tu square root balik. Square root, biasanya bila kita square root, kita akan dapat jawapan dia plus minus. Betul tak dalam max?
Betul.
Jadi yang mana nak pilih?
Minus.
Minus. Because VC is downward. Yes, this one. So proof tak tadi Madam kata same magnitude but opposite direction? So it prove that we have the same magnitude of velocity but you have to put negative sign because dia move downward. Dan secara logiknya, you tahu dia bergerak ke bawah kan? Jadi dia mesti negatif. Kalau you buat positif, mesti ada masalah lah, tiba-tiba dia naik atas balik. So dalam our calculation, this is how we prove that it have the same magnitude but opposite direction. Okay. Next, we go to the last question before we end our class. Okay. Find the velocity and position of the stone at t equal to 5 second. So dia bagi sekarang 5 second siap-siap. Jadi kita tak tahu kat mana sebenarnya. Tadi gambar memang Madam dah tunjuk. Tapi kita sebenarnya nak tunjuk kat mana sebenarnya bila dia 5 second. 5 second ni dari mana dia ambil? 5 second daripada kedudukan A semua kita mula dengan A. Okay. So that's why you can see that my equation here. Katalah ni Madam boleh juga sebut y 5 second. Kan? Kalau tak nak letak D ni pun boleh letak 5 second. So initial dekat A. Velocity mesti dekat A and then you use this equation untuk your orang kata acceleration dengan time lah. Time 5 second. Okay. So kita always respect to A, senang. So bila you calculate, you dapat negatif. Jangan terkejut. Memang you dapat negatif. Because this one is negative 9 times 5. Dapat 45 something kan. Tolak 20. Tolak pula dah. Tambah 20. Negatif tambah 20 dapat negative 29. Jadi be careful jangan pula tiba-tiba dapat positif. So, it prove that in 5 second, dia berada di bawah. Dia bergerak lagi ke bawah. So maksudnya dia beyond dan C, dia punya velocity increase. Okay. And then dekat, dan kita nak tahu dia punya position. Dekat mana negative 29 ni. So again, pakai equation yang sama untuk calculate position. But then respect to your initial which is 8A again. Sebab itu information yang paling senang. Kita ada. Jadi jangan calculate dekat tempat lain. Sebab salah kira nanti salah. Yang ini dia memang fix dah value dia. Yang ni pun fix. So YA kosong, 20 untuk dia punya initial velocity A, 5 second untuk T. Nampak tak? Semua maklumat ni maklumat yang konkret, maklumat yang fix, maklumat yang bukan kita reka-reka. Memang daripada soalan. Jadi this is how you actually can reduce mistake daripada buat equation yang unknown. Okay. So bila kita calculate, kita dapat dia punya position D is negative 22.5 meter. So secara logiknya betul. Dia duduk di bawah A, negative 22 meter. So logik dia memang bergerak laju tinggi dan dia juga di bawah. Dia makin ke bawah lah. Alright, okay. Alright, so what if the true were from 30 meter above the ground instead of 50 meter? Which answer in part A to part D would change? So kalau kita ubah kedudukan A daripada 50 meter, kita buat 30 meter. So apa akan jadi? Sebenarnya kalau you calculate balik, kalau you calculate A, B, C, D pakai 30 tak ada masalah. Dia hanya berubah in terms of dia punya height sahaja. Yang lain dia tak ada berubah. Velocity tak berubah dan juga dia punya ni. Yang berubahnya hanyalah benda ni je lah. Benda ni. Sebab 30 kan. Mesti dia ke bawah. 30 tak. Sama. Dia sama juga. So yang ni you boleh buat lah. Okay. Madam nak minta sikit lagi masa sebab kita nak habiskan chapter 2 ni terus hari ni. So you can straightly go to chapter 3 next week lah. Okay. Basically just to give you an idea. Our kinematic equation basically in our textbook ni pakai calculus base. Apa masuk calculus base? Yang you jumpa ni, limit function, you jumpa integration. Kenapa kita pakai this equation atau kita pakai this method? Macam Madam cakap tadi, this more accurate value, especially bila kita buat calculation. Sebab kita dalam fizik banyak buat calculation, kita jarang pakai graph semua. Sebab bila pakai graph ni dia ambil masa. Okay, contoh macam ni, graph ni. So kalau you tengok ni ada banyak cara untuk kita kira area under the graph. Salah satunya ialah by using area formula, kan? Tapi macam ni pun masalah. Bila di curvy macam ni kita ada masalah because kenapa? Kalau you tengok Madam pakai this kind of concept, buat small boxes ni, so kita boleh calculate pakai area rectangle. Are you agree? Nampak tak dia pakai area rectangular? Boleh, kita boleh pakai, tetapi kita akan ada masalah dengan ruang-ruang yang dia tak kira ni. Nampak tak? Nampak tak ruang-ruang kecil-kecil ni? Walaupun dia kecil, dia sebenarnya memberi impact kepada bacaan kita. Are you agree with me, brother, sister?
Yes.
So we have a more accurate method in calculus, which is limit function and as well integration. So that's why after this you will see lots of integration equation because this is much more accurate daripada kita guna cara macam ni. Kalau geometrical shape tak ada masalah. Macam ni, tak ada masalah. Yang irregular shape ni kita ada masalah. So irregular shape ni dia bukan suka-suka, bukan senang kita nak dapatkan ni. Ni yang ralat ni. Ini kalau engineer kalau tak kira benda ni bahaya ni. Error banyak ni. Lagi bahaya kalau in terms of safety. Okay. So I think that's all for your chapter 2. So kita mungkin akan discuss further little bit next week for your chapter 2. Ada yang mungkin nak tanya soalan dan you can start doing your tutorial question too.